Hey, shout out to everybody who said free BG. And you said it until it's backward now. BG free. Brittney Griner, WNBA star Brittney Griner, has been released from Russian custody in a high-profile prisoner swap between the U.S. and Moscow. Let's go! All right, we've been waiting for this for a long time, man. I really started to lose hope. But you know what I'm saying? We can't lose hope on the outside knowing that she was inside expecting her to keep up hope. We've been hearing a lot of horror stories, how she was moved to a penal colony and the conditions in those places are like slavery and, you know, all that type of stuff. What was most hurting and damaging was to see Americans, actual Americans, saying Russia should keep her and that 9 years was justified for a fucking marijuana joint, less than a joint. Nowhere in the world, even if you got caught with a half a pound of weed in the US, you could beat getting 9 years. She got caught with 0.07 grams of hashish oil in 2 different vape cartridges. And she got hit with some years as if she was trying to smuggle a couple of pounds of ganja into the country. And you had Americans saying it was okay. Some of them, you know, they were hiding behind their racism. And they were saying stuff like, well, she didn't want to stand for the flag and the national anthem, so Russia could keep her. Guess what? Fuck you bitches. Now, Washington. Shout out to MSN.com. Washington WNBA star Brittney Griner is free Thursday after the Biden administration negotiated her release from a Russian penal colony in exchange for an arms dealer, according to a senior administration official. Before I go any further with this information, let me say another fuck you again to the people who really thought that it was okay to celebrate someone getting 9 years for what amounts to less than a joint. I want you to really think about that. Nowhere in America would we have said that was okay. Everybody would have said, yo, that's excessive. That's crazy. But I found out that it was mostly black folks, African Americans, that were saying, yo, that's crazy. Even if you were going to give her time, like 9 years, nobody in Russia's prison history has ever gotten 9 years. So it's not like Russia was trying to uphold some law, like our country is so clean and so free of drugs that as soon as we catch somebody, we give them, it's justified to give them 9 years for that. You get caught with kilos of cocaine in Russia and you don't get 9 years. So she got that time. And to see Americans over here talking about keep her ass and it's okay, you know, the reason they were saying that comes from another place. But anyways, President Joe Biden signed off on the trade, which took place in the United Arab Emirates, even though it meant leaving behind Paul Whelan, an American corporate security executive who remains jailed in Russia. She is safe, he said. She's on a plane. She's on her way home, in case for those of you who are wondering. Damn, I hope we're not celebrating too early. I hope they don't renege on the deal, take her back in and say no deal. Well, she's safe. And according to what we're hearing, she is actually on a plane. She is on her way home to the United States of America. She could write a book after this. Biden said in remarks from the White House today, on Thursday morning, which is today, she will soon be back in the arms of her loved ones, and she should have been here all along. I'm proud that today we have made one more family whole, Biden said, adding that we will continue to work to free Whelan. We'll keep negotiating for Paul's release. I guarantee it. So there's a lot of people right now who are freaking upset. And they're like, you could have kept Brittney Griner over there. Get Paul Whelan home because he's a former Marine and all this. See, they like to hide behind that military stuff, right? I checked a lot of people of a certain persuasion who are all gung-ho military, army this, Marines that, and found out that most of them never served a fucking day in uniform. Pardon my language, right? If you don't like to hear curse words, don't listen to any more of this one because I'm going to let it out. They've never served a day in uniform, right? That's the same reason why they turned the whole Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. They turned it into, oh, we're disrespecting the flag. And no matter how you looked them in the face and you said, listen, I am a veteran myself. I served. Did you? And they go, no, but my mama did. No, did you? No, but my daddy didn't. No, did you? No, I didn't. Okay, well, I did. And I can tell you that serving overseas to protect what we have here and then coming home and being treated like a friggin' second-class citizen, I don't feel like I want to stand for that flag until we make some changes within the laws that will affect this in a positive way for the people who are disenfranchised by it. That's what taking the knee was about. It was a silent protest, a non-violent protest, as you are afforded the right to do constitutionally in the United States of America. But these people don't understand that. I guess all that shit goes for only one set of people and not for the other. So people are upset right now. And they're like looking at it in a different way. It's an African-American female. And then here you have Willen, a white man who is also a former military personnel, etc. So you're going to save a black girl but not save a white man? I'm just saying. That's what a lot of people are going through. That's the turmoil inside of them right now. So when you see the crazy antics online as far as the comments go, don't even pay it any mind. Keep it moving. Brittney Griner's wife, Cheryl Griner, she was in the Oval Office with Joe Biden, and the two were able to speak with Brittney by phone. I bet BG screaming her head off. I bet she crying. I bet she happy as hell. Cheryl Griner, speaking after Biden expressed her sincere gratitude to Biden and several other officials she mentioned by name for their work. Brittney will be flown to a medical facility in San Antonio where she will receive care, a senior administration official said, and Cheryl Griner, which is Brittney Griner's wife, will meet her there, according to a senior administration official. The move marks one of the most high-profile prisoner swap between Moscow and Washington since the Cold War with the Kremlin, seeing the return of Viktor Bout, who Russian President Vladimir Putin has been wanting to get back, and who had served 11 years of a 25-year sentence in the United States. You got to understand who the hell this person is. Right? And why Vladimir Putin wanted him back so badly. Griner's return to the United States will cap a months-long saga that began in February of 2022, and we're now in December. So she pretty much spent almost a whole year in confinement in Russia, where she was detained at Moscow's airport after Russian authorities said that they found vape canisters with cannabis oil in her luggage. And I'm going to say it again. It was 0.07 ounces. Okay, or not ounce, but grams. Whatever the hell it was. It worked out to less than a damn joint. She was later jailed on drug charges. The 32-year-old Phoenix Mercury player was the subject of prolonged and often public negotiations between the two countries after a trial that underscored frayed relations amid Russia's war with Ukraine. Biden's administration had sought the release of both Griner and Willen. They really were trying to get Willen out. Willen is looked at as a spy, okay? That's the reason why he wasn't let out. He is being looked at as a spy. Russia accuses him of spying on them. Russia claims they have solid proof. They took him to court. They tried him. Just like they took Brittney to court, they tried her. And it's funny that the same people that are saying free Willen are the same people that are saying keep Brittney. Funny shit. You want them to keep this woman for 9 years for half a joint, but you want them to free a spy. Anyhow, the U.S. was trying to negotiate to get Willen home. However, Russia is holding on to him a bit tighter because Russia believes some of their spies have gone missing, and Russia believes that the U.S. has those spies in custody and they want them. Spy in exchange for a spy. But the U.S. is still saying, we don't have any of your spies. We don't know where they went or what other country has them, but it's not us. I'm telling you, I am determined to get her home and get her home safely, along with others, I might add. That's what Biden said of the situation on November 9th, right? Now, Whelan was serving 16 years in prison after being accused of spying, which the U.S. has denied. People familiar with the negotiations for his release says that the Russians refused to release Whelan without getting a Russian spy in return. The U.S. insists it does not have any Russian spies in its custody, and thus no one to trade to meet the Kremlin's needs or demands in exchange for Whelan. Griner's release, however, marks a stunning turn of events from last month when she began serving a 9-year sentence at a penal colony more than 200 miles east of Moscow, way off in the mountains where it gets really snowed in. It's cold. They don't have enough heater to keep you warm in there. They're known for abusing people in there. The guards in there pretty much have no one to answer to. So they do all kinds of, you just let your mind run wild. Okay, they do all kinds of stuff in there. I heard one person giving an account, and he said he went on a hunger strike. And when he went on a hunger strike, the guards brought out a bunch of other male prisoners and told them to get naked. And he's there on a hunger strike, and the guards said, if you don't start eating, we're going to have all these guys rape you. And that's how he started eating his damn food. So that's to give you an idea of what it's like where she was at, right? Now, the U.S. media seemed more like they were having a frenzy and a field day with this. Every day I woke up, I saw a headline about Brittney Griner. When Brittney Griner first started showing her tattoos, how rebellious Brittney Griner was when she did this. And then the first time Brittney Griner kissed her wife on her lips in public. And this is like, they just kept going in and in. Conditions are horrible for Brittney Griner in a penal colony. Every day it was like some form of entertainment shit. Nobody was saying, we feel bad for her, bring her home. Griner's release is here. Now, during her trial in July, Brittney pleaded guilty, but she said that she had no criminal intent. Like, she wasn't trying to smuggle anything into the country. It was not like I had a half a pound of weed on me and I'm going to cut it up, bag it up, sell it, make some extra money. That wasn't the case. It was 0.0 in the cartridges. Not even enough for like a half a joint. It couldn't make a good joint, okay? Griner said that the canister, which she had been prescribed to treat chronic pain, it was packed inadvertently as she hurriedly prepared to get to her flight. As her trial neared the end in early August, it became public that the U.S. put a prisoner swap offer on the table for Moscow to consider. Russia called for quiet diplomacy, but said after her sentencing that it was ready to discuss the deal. So they were trying to get her out for the longest, but you know, Russia wasn't having it. Russia was like, yo, we're going to go all the way through with this first. We have to take her to court. We have to sentence her. We have to do all that. And then we could start talking about release. So we knew right away that she was going to be doing some time. Some people thought she was going to be doing years like Whelan. Whelan's been in there for like a couple of years already now. NBC News reported on July that the U.S. proposed a prisoner swap with Russia for the release of Griner and Whelan as a package, who had been detained since 2018. That's Whelan. That deal, two sources familiar with the matter confirmed at the time, would have included the U.S. releasing Bout, known as the Merchant of Death, because he was considered one of the world's largest illicit arms dealers. Bout was sentenced to 25 years in a federal prison in the United States of America in 2012 after he was convicted of selling arms to Colombian rebels, which prosecutors said were intended to kill Americans. The Kremlin has been demanding his release over the past decade, saying that he was unfairly targeted and that's not what he was doing. The Washington-Moscow swap marked the most prominent diplomatic engagement between the two countries since the U.S. and its allies firmly backed Kyiv and condemned the Kremlin for launching the war against its neighbor in February. The Biden administration has faced tremendous pressure to help bring home the 6'9" Houston native known to her fans and worldwide as BG, Brittney Griner. Griner's release is the second publicly known U.S. prisoner swap with Russia since the war in Ukraine started. American Trevor Reed. Trevor Reed was released in April after spending nearly 3 years in a Russian jail. The former Marine was freed in a prisoner exchange that saw Biden commute the sentence off some other person and convicted Russian drug trafficker serving time in Connecticut who was sentenced to 20 years in prison in the U.S. in 2010. Look, put it like this. I don't think Whelan was the one that has the military background. However, he does have a tech background, I should say. And he was caught over in Russia, suspected of being a spy. And he was arrested there, and then he was tried and convicted there. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that, hey, he should be home. He wasn't spying. But who knows? Who knows? At this point, we were just calling for BG to be free, because we didn't believe that it was okay for somebody to serve 9 years in prison for a half a joint. And here we are. She's here. I'm just glad that she got home in time for Christmas to be with her loved ones and get her life back on track. If I was her, I would never travel to Russia again. And I'm pretty sure that she probably never will. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. I'm out. Peace.